Namaskara everybody, and I'm sorry that you are out here on this wet day, not in exactly the same weather in which we would be celebrating tomorrow Basaveshwara Jayanti. Earlier today, our Prime Minister had also put out a special message on the teachings of Lord Basaveshwara, and since I have a Bangalore connection, it is for me a familiar and common story, the story of what Basaveshwara did and his message to the world. Some of you have one of his signs up, work is worship. Please remember that this is one of his sayings that Mahatma Gandhi also took forward. Basaveshwara said the same thing about work and earning. In other words, the quest of wealth is not a quest for wealth for oneself, but to enrich everybody else. The same message that Guru Nanak Dev Ji had. Basaveshwara's message about a caste-free society was also Baba Sahib Ambedkar's message. So what you can see is, in many senses, Basaveshwara Ji actually gave a number of the great messages that we in India have repeatedly been reminded of every few centuries by one among the greatest men of that age. So in many senses, 900 years ago, a lot of the simple wisdom of universality of humanity, of a caste-free, division-free society, of honor in work, of dignity in labor, all of these things were prefigured by Basaveshwara. And it is important that we internalize these values, recognize that these are universal values, and these are values that we can be proud, first and foremost, were enunciated in India. When we say often, ladies and gentlemen, that India has a long historic tradition of democracy, people think this is an exaggeration, but it isn't. Look at what Basaveshwara said 900 years ago. Well before any other country in the world even thought of the idea of the equality of humankind. And I say humankind advisedly because he wasn't just talking about the equality of men, but of men and women. And that is something that only now, in the last several decades of the 20th century and the early 21st century, is something that the world talks about. So we have a lot to be proud of, but that pride needs to be tempered with the recognition of the learnings that we need to be reminded of again and again. So there is a simple way in which we can do this, which is to remember the contributions of Lord Basaveshwara, read what he said, and internalize his message in the actions we take every day. I've seen your message about requesting our government to take forward a grant. I'll certainly take it up. Of course, there is a lot of spade work that the community here will need to do to make a plan that can help us look for a grant. But we welcome the contribution. In that sense, I mean the intellectual and the contribution of time. I'm not asking for money, of all of our community people in conveying the message across our community of people of Indian origin, what we have to give to the world, and how we as a community together can contribute both to this country and of course to our ancient ancestral homeland, in my case of course my national homeland, India. Thank you all very much, and Namaskara again.